another video to some motivation for students. So welcome back, welcome back.
Today, we're going to be talking about how my bullying experience affected me. Before on this channel, I've made videos talking about it, but in this video, I'll go very in deep on my experiences, things that happened during my experiences, and then I will talk about the outcome, the positive, the negative that came out of my bullying experience. Now, as some of you guys know, I grew up in Guyana from birth all the way to age 9. I did experience bullying in Guyana, but I don't have too much of a memory of it. The only memory I have is a memory that my dad told me of how some kid was bullying me, and I knew where he lived, so we went to his mother's house, told his mother, and then he got in trouble. That's the only bullying related memory I remember for Guyana. So I actually did experience bullying in Guyana, but I didn't really have too much of a recollection of majority stuff. That's the only thing I remember. But when I came over here to American in 2012, uh, I experienced it a lot because we're coming over to a whole new country, not being adjusted to everything that's going on over here, being new to everything. And with me having the accent, I was very skinny and very dark skin and everything. I got bullied a lot when I first came over here. And it was just terrible. I got hit a lot, slapped a lot, pushed down. Um, a lot of just mean name. And I remember the Ebola virus was going on a lot at that time. And a lot of people thought I was from Africa. So all the African jokes was coming towards me. And then they started to make the Ebola jokes. And they made the joke so much to the point where people thought I had it. And people used to just not want to be next to me. People used to run away from me, not want to sit where I was sitting, not want to be around my place, be around like my atmosphere or any area where I was at, and just wouldn't sit near me. And I really just had no friend. Like I was just lonely each and every single day. I just going to school, and it's a lot of situations that happened. The first situation I can remember happened is when I got pushed into a bathroom stall and like I fell to the floor. And I remember I went told my parents about that. I told my parents about that. The kid that did that got in trouble. Another experience I can remember is when we was playing outside on like in the parking lot of the school, because I think this was during summertime where you could go outside and play. And I remember I got pushed down to the floor, and like when I fell, like my face grazed the concrete to the point like my forehead was just bleeding, like blood was just covering in my face. I remember I had two people that had to take me to the nurse's office, and a heart aching experience just every single day, just going through that, being like physically and mentally abused. And I remember I used to be crying myself to sleep each and every night, just crying myself to sleep, just want the pain to stop, just want everything to stop, to a point I was like with God, I was like, God, why your people is doing this to me? Like why your people is attacking me? Why they doing this? Like I was so lonely. I didn't have anybody to talk to. And I don't remember anybody sticking up for me for those couple of years. I know there's one incident that I do remember where somebody got sticked up for me. It was one of these teachers. I remember this was like the end of the day of school, and we were doing something, and I passed by some girl, and she was like, I want to be next to him. He got Ebola. And then the teacher stepped in and was like, does he have it? Do you know he have it? No. And then that was like the first incident that I remember when somebody sticked up for me. And like that teacher really sticked up for me. I don't know. I don't remember who the teacher was, but if you're watching this, shout out to you. Thank you so much for that. But it like my first 3 years in America was just very bad because I did the fourth grade the first time, went to summer school, I got held back, then did fourth grade the second time. And with me being held back and everybody know that I got held back, that intensified my bullying experience. And my reading level wasn't that good at that time. And I remember they used to be showing your reading level in class, like on one of them boards or whatever. And my reading level used to be up there. So the held back jokes, the you can't read jokes, the how dark you are, how skinny you are, your accent joke. It was just like it was very painful just going through all of that. So I know when people ask me, would you ever want to go back and relive elementary school? I would not. I honestly would not go and relive elementary school because there's so much pain, so much it's just so much heartache and stuff happened. Another incident two students came to my house to fight me. I remember that day. It was in the afternoon. School was about to over, and I remember one of my friends, Darren. He told me, he was like, "Yo, these two dudes about to beat you up. Go home." I remember as soon as we got let out, I sprint. I ran home. I think I forgot my coat. It was cold that day. I ran home. Good thing my house was like 2 blocks away from my school. I ran home and got inside, and I think like 20 minutes later, I hear my bell pressing, and this is a voice thing. So I press, I'm like, who is it? And they, the two people that was coming after me was at my house, at my door, pressing my bell and stuff like that. And I remember they got in trouble for that, but it's just a lot of experience for like bullying for elementary school. It was just real hard. Like I was so excited to get out of elementary school when I graduated. I did end up going to summer school because I went to summer school all 3 years of me being in elementary school in America. From the first year, then the first year when I got held back, then the second year when I repeated to fourth grade, went to summer school again and passed, then fifth grade went to summer school, passed. So I was very happy when I got out of elementary school because it's just the pain, the hurt, the amount of names being called, the amount of times I got hit, the amount of times I got pushed down. As I mentioned before, the situation where I got pushed to the floor, my whole face was like blood, like it was just bleeding down and stuff like that. So it was just a very painful experience for me for elementary school. I've went back to the school there, so it's it don't I'm not afraid to go back to that school, or when I go in there, like all the pain and stuff that I felt in there, it don't come back to my memory because I went there at least I think like 4 times so far. When I was still living in New York and stuff like that. But I couldn't wait to get out of that school because it's just so much pain in that school. Like I'm telling you guys, I was going to bed crying at night. It's just asking God, like God, like just could you stop? Could you just stop the pain, the hurt, everything that was coming after me? Because I didn't do nothing to nobody. I'm just new. I don't even know how this place is. I don't know the lingo, all that. And it was very just crazy and a very traumatic experience. And moving on to middle school. Middle school, um, I got bullied in middle school too. I think like my first couple months in there. Yeah, and I got bullied in like sixth grade too. And uh, I ended up starting my channel, my main channel in the sixth grade to be able to help people that was getting bullied, be able to give them advice, give them wisdom. While I was still experiencing it myself, and I just kept making my videos because I just really wanted to reach out to people. I just really wanted to save a life. And in the sixth grade, while I was being bullied, uh, it still hurt, still going to bed crying, stuff like that. And then it just kept pounding in my head, all the hurt, all the pain. And I remember I had suicidal thoughts at that point, um, doing through the experience because I was hurting a lot and I didn't have anybody to talk to, about anybody to went to, about anybody to comfort me about the situation and the stuff that I was going through at the time. I remember like at nights, it was just at nights when I'm in my bed, it was just running through my head, running through my head, running through my head. And I just kept trying to push it out. And I remember this one night, it just ran through the thought of suicide ran through my head a lot, a lot. And like just I was deep thinking in like how I was gonna do it, when I was gonna do it, the time, the day. It was like I was planning everything out in my mind. And right when I was about to go into the action of committing suicide and thing, the thought came to my head of if you do this, who is gonna do the job that you want to do? Because with starting YouTube, I wanted to motivate kids. I wanted to be that encouragement for them. I wanted to be that person for them that I didn't have for me. And the thought just came to my head: if you're not here, who is gonna do that for them? Because the whole reason you making this channel is to be able to save somebody from doing what you're about to do. And that thought just kept blinging in my head, blinging in my head, blinging in my head. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And any other time from then, where the thoughts just come in my head, I just told myself, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And in a way, I say that YouTube really saved my life because at the time doing YouTube, making my videos gave me a reason to not go through with everything. And this is something that I've never talked about because I've always been ashamed of it. because I felt like that was weak. I felt like me having those thoughts, me about to do. I just felt like this that just weak, and I just didn't want to see. I didn't want nobody to see me as weak, so I never talked about it. I've always talked about my experiences, what I've went through, but the almost committed suicide part, I've never opened up about that on YouTube. I think only one person in my life personally know about that. So this is my first time talking about it, and yeah, I just never wanted to talk about it because I felt like it showed that I was weak. But after I got out of that mindset, thoughts kept coming to my so it still came to my head after that. But I just told myself I'm not gonna do it because I want to be able to motivate these kids. I want to be able to save a life. I want to be able to save somebody from doing what I was about to do. And uh and then towards the end of sixth grade, while I was getting bullied, my mindset changed to where I got tired of everything going on. I'm like, I changed my mindset to, I changed my mindset to, I'm never gonna let nobody else do this to me. I'm never gonna let this happen to me. So if I got to change my mindset, change what I was doing, my mindset changed to the point where I'm never gonna let nobody do this to me. And I became a very rude, mean, and vicious person towards like in sixth grade, either the middle or the end towards sixth grade. My attitude changed. I was fighting a lot. I was cursing people out. I was getting at anybody that I felt trying me of because through of going through all those experiences of being bullied from all the times I got hit, all the times I got slapped, the time I got pushed down on the floor, and my head was bleeding and stuff. All the mean things that I heard, I'm like, I'm never gonna let nobody do that to me. So I just became a very mean and vicious person, to the point where I felt that anybody that tried me was gonna get it. Whether we gonna fight or I'm gonna curse you out. That was my mentality at that point. I didn't want nobody to put me back in that situation because I'm like, this got me to a point where I almost took my own life. I'm never gonna let nobody get me back to that point. So I just became a very rude, mean, and vicious person. I was constantly getting in trouble. Like all the time, I was constantly getting in trouble. It got so bad to the point where I became the bully. I became the person that I did not want to be. I became the person that others was to me. And I became that bully as a result of having that switch mentality, that mean, that vicious mentality of if anybody try me, they're gonna get it. And I got into so much trouble. I was bullying people and stuff like that. And through while I was doing my action, the thoughts came to my head of what if somebody do commit suicide over you bullying them? That thought just kept ringing in my head. And I'm like, I gotta stop because I'm like, I don't want to be the reason why somebody's not here no more. And that thought just kept blinking to my head. And it was at that time, it wasn't relating back to the point where I almost, took my life and stuff. It wasn't relating to that, but it just related to the fact that what if somebody do that? And after that, I changed it. I stopped bullying people, but I didn't change my mindset at that point. I stopped bullying people, but I didn't change my mindset. I was still like a mean and like vicious person. I was still thinking, but I and stuff like that. But I just the people that I know that I was bullying at that point, I just stopped it and thing. And I really changed and became a good person towards eighth grade because I've been going to church all my life. I've been a Christian all my life. And I knew the way I was living wrong. Cause at that time, so I started being a motivational speaker in 2015. I started preaching in 2017. And this was eighth graders, that's 2018. So at this time I'm doing motivational speaking. I'm sending the word out through preaching and motivational speaking. And I just felt like, how are you going to try to give these words to these people and you're not living right? And that thought just kept blinging in my head, just like before with if somebody commits suicide off my behavior, kept just blinging in my head. I'm like, I gotta change. So do with the help of God, praying, reading, like my mentors, people around me, I began to change and I just wanted to be that better person. I no longer wanted to be the person that was always in trouble or always had that bad rep because I had a bad rep wherever I went. Everybody know that as on no play, like you got to keep eyes on me. I was that kid where you had to keep eyes on me because if you didn't keep eyes on me, bad things could happen. And I was just a really mean, vicious kid, and I just didn't care. I was going to get at everybody, and I changed it. Thank God I did that. Eighth grade, I changed it. Eighth grade, I did get into a little bit of trouble, not as much. And then ninth grade, less trouble. 10th grade, less trouble. And then 11th grade and up, no trouble at all. I did get into some trouble in ninth grade, some trouble in eighth grade, some trouble in 10th grade, but it was a process of growing. But the positive, I'll start off with the negative effect. The negative effects of my bullying experience is that um it led me into becoming the bully, and being that mean, vicious person. And also, it got to a point where I couldn't take jokes from people, because with me hearing all them jokes, all them years, because it's a total of 6 years I experienced bullying, and with me hearing all those things that people said to me, it got to a point where I just couldn't handle jokes. I remember, like, when people say some type of jokes to me, I look at them some type of way. Like, I couldn't handle jokes. I just had that mean demeanor. If I felt like somebody was gonna attack me, I'm gonna attack them. So I got to that point where I just had that mean, vicious thing about myself. So it was negative that came out of my experience, and I'm still working through that each and every single day, because it's a work in progress with us. With with us, I say it's with me, the work in progress with me. And then the positive effect that came out of it is the start of my channel. um I started YouTube due to my bullying experience. And me starting YouTube led to me becoming a motivational speaker, becoming a preacher, becoming a videographer, an editor, um graphic designer. All the titles that I have today came through the creation of my channel, and my purpose statement and what I want to do in life came through the creation of my channel. And the creation of my channel came through my bullying experience. It came out of that experience, and I just learned that you may go through something, but then it may end up being a blessing. Like those 6 years that I went through bullying, it became a blessing, because I was able to create my channel. I was able to get into motivational speaking, preaching, editing, being a videographer, being a graphic designer, reaching out to so many people, having so many conversations. Um, Even though the root of what I'm doing comes from a bad place, it ended up being a blessing. And I just want everybody to know that the root of what you do may be come from a hurtful place, may be a bad thing, but it could end up be a blessing into your life. And that's exactly what me, my experience, and that became a blessing in my life. And I'm still healing from my experience. Last year I learned about how my experience affected me. I learned about how I couldn't take certain jokes because I felt like I was being attacked. I learned why I became that mean and vicious person. I learned many aspects of myself came through my bullying experience, both positive and negative. My ability to be able to speak so openly, to be able to use my voice, came from my bullying experience, because I felt like my voice was shut. I felt like my voice was taken away from me, because I'm the youngest sibling out of five. So with the youngest sibling, they don't really be trying to hear your voice. So I was already feeling that way, kind of growing up. But then with the bullying experience, it just added on to me. I felt like my voice is useless and my voice is taken away from me. But my experience gave me that drive to be able to use my voice for the greater good. My boldness, my openness, like a lot of aspect of me today came through my experience. So even though it was a bad experience, which led to many nights of crying, which led to the suicidal thoughts, which led to me becoming that mean, vicious person, it ended up being a blessing, because I changed who I am. I'm a changed person today. I'm not who I am before. There's this song that said the things I used to do, I do them no more. And I don't. I'm no longer that person. I'm not that mean, vicious person. I'm not that no more. And I won't ever go back to that person, because the old me got me in so many trouble. It got me in so much trouble. It was so much people I had to apologize to, because that mindset that I created of being mean and vicious, I created it to use it in school, but that mindset went to church, it went to camp, that mindset basically became me. So wherever I was at, if I felt like you tried me, we was gonna fight, I was gonna curse you out. So that mindset became a part of my life, and all the areas of my life it affected it, because I wasn't just only getting in trouble in school. I was getting in trouble at home. I was getting in trouble at church. If I went to camp, getting in trouble at camp. Like I was just bad all around. Everybody knew me at that point for being bad, for always getting in trouble. Like Esron, when the name Esron pops up, it's always some negative thing towards it. And even though that occurred, I learned from my ways, and I was able to change it. I was able to apologize to people. I was able to recognize my wrong. And I haven't fully apologized to a lot of people. There's a couple more people that I need to apologize to for my past actions and my past behavior. But it's all a part of the process. And I just keep growing, and I was just able to learn. So my bullying experience did have many positives, many negative, but overall it was a blessing, and I don't regret it. Would I live through it again? No, I won't. I would I would never want to live through that experience. I'm thankful for it, but I would never want to live through my experience again, because there was just so much pain, so much hurt. And I remember like last year when I was learning more about how my past became me, how my past affected me. I remember like I was crying talking about some of those experiences. As I talk about the experience today, I'm good. I could talk about it without crying, but I remember I was crying. I was in tears when I was talking about them experience, when them people would beat me up, when they pulled up to my house to fight me, all of that. I was crying. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was crying. Like my eyes was pouring down due to the experience. So there, I found out how those experiences affected me, because before I never really paid too much attention to like how my experience affected me, but I had to learn that it affected me both in negative and positive way. The blessing of my channel, the blessing of every single thing that I do now, it came out of that. But we also got to acknowledge the negative, and I felt like that was very important. I didn't just want to sit here and tell you guys all the positive. I wanted to make sure that I tell you guys the negative. It's both negative and positive that came out of my experience. Um, and I've talked with my mentors, my friends, all of that. So I make sure that any area that I need help with, go along with the journey of healing from those experiences. I got people around me that's there for me, helping me, and I thank them so much for just doing that. And I'm not in this journey by myself. I got my people around me, but the experience overall became a blessing. But even though it had positive and negative to it, it was overall a blessing onto my life. As I said before, I wouldn't relive this. I wouldn't relive it. And just too much pain, too much hurt in there to relive some of those situations. And there's a lot of things that I forget. A lot of things I mentioned today is just stuff that I was very notable to me, and stuff that I can't forget. But it's a lot more things. It's a lot more things that happened during those experiences. And it just felt like I was very lonely. I was just very lonely, just didn't have people, because I didn't talk about this earlier, but during that experience, it was to a point where I hated myself, honestly, because I felt like I was being persecuted for being myself. I was being hated for being myself. Nobody wanted to be around me. Nobody wanted to be my friend. People just hated me. People just didn't like me. It got to a point where I truly inside hated myself. I'm like, I want to be somebody else. I don't want to be me. Because being me, it's like I'm getting consequences for being me. It was to a point that I did not want to be me. I did not love me. I even like looking at the mirror, seeing me, to a point of how bad that got. And just I was able to get out of that mindset. Like I just felt like I was ugly, because that was like a main thing people was telling me every single day. You ugly, you ugly. And after you hear something so much, it start to penetrate into your mind, and you start to believe it. And it started to penetrate in my mind, and I started to believe it to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm ugly. Like I just truly didn't care. I just truly hated myself, and that also played a part into why the suicide thoughts that played into a part with it. So it's a lot of negatives that came out of it. It's a lot more story to it. But I just wanted to give you guys a little a thorough insight of my experience, what happened and how it became a blessing onto my life. And if you're going through anything right now, just know that your experiences in life are meant to happen, because they are there to make you the person that you're going to be in the future. My experience made me the person that I am today. My experience made me so fearless. My experience made me so outspoken. My experience made me me. And I'm thankful for it overall. I'm thankful for the blessing of it. Wouldn't relive it, but I'm thankful for the blessing of it. I hope this video was able to be a blessing unto you guys, for you guys to hear about my experiences, from the positive, the negative, suicidal thoughts, to the loneliness, to me being so motivated, to me being so happy, and the overall experience. I just thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you feel like somebody needs this video, go ahead, share it with them. I try to be as much open with you guys because these are all the things that I personally remember. Um, I know I've done videos about this, but I've never went this in depth into my experiences. But I wanted to make sure that I go in depth and tell you guys that story, because the Lord brought it on my heart to tell me, to tell my story unto people, because I've told it, but I haven't fully in depth told it. So I just wanted to tell the story to everybody. And yeah, I just thank you guys for just being with me. This year made a year for the channel. We're gonna keep on going. I have a lot more videos planned for you guys, a lot more videos that will come out. And yeah, if you could connect with my experience, or you just want to hit me up, have a conversation with me, my social medias are always in the link below. My Facebook, my IG, my TikTok, hit me right there. I'll be open to have a conversation with you guys. If you got any feedback, anything, just hit me on my social media. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching this video. This was my video on how my bullying experience affected me, both in a positive and negative way. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching.
This is the end of the video. If you guys haven't already, like the video, subscribe if you're new. Please turn on your post notification. That way, anytime I upload, YouTube will send you a notification. This is Motivation for Students. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.